All right, all right. So today's conversation is going to be a real one, all right? Because I feel like a lot of traders out here are doing everything that they can, all right, putting in the time, watching charts, trying strategies, and they're still stuck. What makes it even harder is when you've been doing it for like a number of years, right? And you're still like stuck in that same loop. So I wanted to bring one of my comrades in trading, all right, because her story is something that I know a lot of traders can relate to. She was trading for about 5 years before we met, and things didn't really start clicking until she changed how she approached trading completely. We're gonna dive right into it today in today's interview. But before we get into it, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, why, and how you got into trading.
All right. So, hi guys, my name is Diana. Um, I'm from Long Island, New York. Uh, got into trading in 2020, just like everybody else,
COVID,
during the
right?
pandemic. Yes, during the pandemic, and it's been 6 long, rocky years doing this.
Tough. And why? Why did you get into trading?
Why did I get into trading? Because I always knew that I didn't want to have a boss. Um, I didn't know what would give me that, but when came about finding out what trading was, it was more from people trying to sell the pyramid scheme of MI, what is it, MIL?
Yeah, whatever the shit is called. I know what
Whatever
you're
it's
talking
called,
about.
but
IML or something like that.
IML, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, IML, some shit like that. But they were trying to sell people on the lifestyle. They were trying to sell, but in reality, it wasn't. Nobody there was actually good at trading. And I
Right.
realized that, outside of whatever the crap is of selling courses and shit, trading was a real thing that could actually get you to where you want to be in life.
Solid,
Freedom.
solid. Yep, for sure. So take me back to when you were in that phase, right? When you just started trading, well, within the 5 years of trading, you had been trading for a few years already. What was your day to day like in trade? Actually, what did it look like? Like, did you have a plan and process that you were following? What was your day to day like?
So when I first started trading or like was introduced to it, I was really just trying to understand, first of all, well, the first thing was somebody told me I could make X amount of money putting X amount of money into the market. And that intrigued me right away,
Yeah,
thinking it was a get money, get rich quick scheme type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Um, but then came to the realization of no, you don't get rich quick because if you try to get rich quick, then you also go broke fast,
Yeah, hell yeah,
faster.
for sure.
So the beginning was really like just a lot of silly mistakes looking back at it now. But once I realized that, trading was legit and I could do it for real, just needed to put some legit processes in place. I just started
hmm
going to YouTube, looking up simple stuff like candlestick patterns, understanding how to get into the market, how to get out of the market, reading price action, and I didn't give it a lot of time, honestly. I'll say that
Yeah,
much. It
yeah.
was choppy back and forth. Um, I didn't understand that the mental aspect of it is the biggest part of it. So.
So in terms of like chart wise on the day to day when you show up to take a trade, how would you like what was your process like in on the day to day?
In the beginning stages?
Yeah, yeah. Well, not well for the past 5 years, right? You know, when you go into the market, let's say a year ago, what was your day to day like in trading?
A year ago, well, this is the other thing is like it hasn't been consistent, right?
Right.
So I haven't been consistent with trading and this is why I haven't been consistent because I would go come to the chart and I didn't have a strategy. I didn't have specifically know what I was coming into the market looking for. Like
Right.
I got into certain groups. I was looking for a while it was just support and resistance because it was easy to identify that.
Yeah.
Um but I didn't know where my entry was or none of that type of stuff. Was using indicators. Can't even tell you. I think like EMA, yeah,
Yeah.
Koch. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Um,
Stochastic, all of that stuff.
Stochastic, that thing. Um, and like I had no routine. Genuinely, I had no routine. I would just open up the chart. I could be out in the like in the park. I could be out sitting in the living room. Like I was just being all over the place with it. So that's why I had the results I was having back in the day.
So what did it feel like then when you were taking trades back then? What did it feel like?
An adrenaline rush, not a good one.
Right? Like your heart's racing. You're like, oh
Yeah, like anytime I was in a trade, I was like, and I saw it in a little bit of profit, I was like, should I just take it out? Should I just take it out? And when I was in the red, I was like, nah, it's gonna turn. It's gonna turn. It's gonna turn. $500 in drawdown. It's gonna turn. It's gonna turn. $700 in drawdown. No, it still has a chance. Boom. Stopped out at like 1K. And
shit. That's
those
real
little
shit though.
lessons.
That's real shit. We all been there. We all been there. So you've been doing it for what, about 5 to 6 years now? At that point, what was the most frustrating part for you?
The most frustrating part was I knew I was in my own way, one. Two, I couldn't come up with a process or with a system like that I could consistently follow and see results. I didn't know what I was looking for in the market. I didn't know what direction I was trying to take. I didn't know everything I know now, really. I could give you a whole list. We'll be here all day.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So did you feel like you were close to figuring it out, or you was just still completely lost?
I felt like I was getting closer and closer, in terms of the charts and just system wise. Psychologically, I think that it was still a work in progress, regardless of anything,
Yeah,
because we are our own like obstacle.
for
Sometimes
sure, for sure.
I still even like, obviously go through it. Like I'll see my setup and I'm still like here sometimes and I'm like waiting. I'm like, should I take it? Should I not? And then I'm like, all right, does it hit all of my criteria? Let me get out of my own head psychologically and just use logic. Like it's meeting everything it needs to. Let me just get into my trade.
Yeah. One thing that's really like for me made a difference is when Michael said you never master the market, you have to master yourself, right? We're never going to master the market. Is about us and mastering ourselves and being disciplined enough to follow our procedures and protocols, right? So that's one thing that really like changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Did it ever feel like no matter how much you were learning that it just still wasn't clicking, like something just the puzzle pieces just wasn't,
In terms of the system or myself.
everything, right? Back then, the 5 years.
I think that I like it started to click that the system, like the setup
Mhm.
process is there, right? Like I learned what I know now, like order blocks and using breakers and having them as entry points. I learned all of that, but I didn't know why I would be using this order block versus a different one, right? And I didn't understand what high probability was. Um, so like going through that process and learning that has helped tremendously because that's really where it's like a light bulb moment.
Right, right, right.
Adding different things and kind of seeing like, okay, this happens. Let's say uh price is, trending up, comes down, it's retracing into an order block because it's an area, right? To then continue higher. So first comes the retracement move. Now the trade that I would be getting into would be a continuation. So, those are the things that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So back then when you were looking at the charts, I think you said it, you didn't know, where price was going to go. You agree, like you just getting into trade just to get into trade just because you see an order block there,
yeah,
but you didn't know why you were getting into that order block or why, the market was doing what the market was doing. And I
hmm
feel like a lot of traders won't admit this, but most of the time we're just really guessing, right? We don't know where price is gonna go, where it's gonna go at. Would you say obviously that was the case for you where you were at the time?
100%. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Definitely was just one of the traders that was like, I see this, that's enough for me. Boom. I just want to get in. That's really what it was. I just wanted to be a part of the market.
Yeah, yeah. We just want to be part of the market. Just let me in there. Let me in.
So I'm in.
So what made you finally say something has to change, you know?
What made me say something finally has to change, I think was I I was tired of the same results from the same process. That's literally the definition of insanity, right? Like
Yep,
doing the
yep.
same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen. Um, so for me, it was really just being tired. Like I had to get tired of losing. I had to get tired of, making the same mistakes that nobody else is pressing the buttons, nobody else is showing up, and I have nobody else to pin it on. Nor was I looking for somebody else to pin it on,
This is
but
you.
just
Yep.
self-accountability, self-discipline, like holding myself to a certain standard. I really got tired when I like, outside of trading, just
Yeah.
like exterior life events made me realize like, yo, like, is this what I want to be doing for the rest of my life? Like, I remember having all these ambitions and all these goals when I was 20, now 25, and I still have the same ambitions, I still have the same goals, but clearly the road that I took from 20 to 25 hasn't gotten to me to where I expected to be. So now
Yep.
from 25 to 30 needs to be different. Like these next
Something
five
has to
years are
change. Yep.
pivotal. So,
For sure. That's something that I do want to congratulate you on because a lot of people stay stuck there like for years, right? They just don't see nothing wrong in what they're doing and just want to keep repeating the same loop. So it takes, a special type of human being to be like, you know what, this is enough. Something has to change. So
yeah.
when we first started trading together, what was different right away, you'd say?
What was different was definitely what we both look for in trading. Um, I would say when we first started trading together, I still, and I can even say this till now, like there's certain things I still don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Um, but what was different is you came in with a set procedure, came in with a set protocol, you came in with, rules for yourself daily, and you knew what you were looking for. You knew like the whole process was basically down to the T, right? You had collected your data and it'd been for a while. So it's like,
Yeah. Some years.
so yeah, so and then seeing the results, right? When we first started trading though, like so much has changed since then. That's number one. So much has changed. Originally, I was like, hold on, because she's trading on the lower time frame. I hate the lower time frame.
I don't even want
That's
to see no
one.
1 minute chart.
I don't want to see no 15 second. I didn't even know it existed. But I really like it opened my eyes to something where I was just like, all right, so there is really and truly like it's set in my brain like this is so doable because if you can do it on the lower time frame and I can do it on the time frames that I use and other X, Y, and Z people do it on their time frames, like this is doable for anybody. It's
Right.
really like something that is attainable. Like that was number one that really clicked in my head. Um, and I
Did,
mean,
did anything challenge you on how you were thinking before when we started? Did anything challenge you
in what way? What do
or
you mean?
surprise you? Like in terms of, did our difference in trading?
Um, I think the only thing that surprised me was I think the only thing that surprised me was like how how many trades you were taking on a daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what, because like for me, I had worked so hard because I used to like try to take all these freaking trades in one day and like, I realized that less is more. So I was
Hmm.
at that when we first started trading together, I was at that point where I was like, less is more. I'm only looking to take two trades a day, and this was my risk, and this was that, and blah 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 blah. And then when we got to trading together, like And you was talking about, I see this continuation, I see this retracement, and I'm like, what the heck? Like I can't
What are
focus.
you
I can't focus.
Yeah,
But um that was just part of the learning process,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
yeah. And for me, right, it's different because I'm more like a, I want to get in, I want to get out, which is different to your personality because trading is solo sport, right? Everybody's
yeah.
is personality is different. You're more like a higher time frame. I like my slow and steady. It's higher probability. I can trust it, type thing. But it's just about what we can take from each other, right? So
And but
one
that's
thing,
what I was saying, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you were able to I was a that was for me that was a moment of like clarification, like does it matter what you're doing in the market? Like I could be selling right now, you could be buying, and I could be selling in a bigger range while you
range
could be
rate.
buying in a smaller range, and we both can be right. That's
Both can still
where
make money. Yep, yep,
that's where things changed for me when we got to trading together.
yep. So one thing that we focused on heavily was not just the strategy, because you already had an understanding of how you were going to get in the market, but really we honed in on having a plan and process. Having a plan for your account, risk management, trade management, and a process that you're following daily. When did that click for you?
That clicked, I want to say probably like we've been trading together since let's just say the beginning of February.
Yeah.
It is mid-March,
So it's been what, February, January, February, March, like 2 months?
like 2 months, roughly a little less than 2 months. I want to
Yeah.
say it started to click for me like 2 weeks ago. So beginning of March, so a
Mm-hmm.
full month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it started to click for me, like everything just started to really make sense. And I say that because in different ways, every single day, we always took something from it and applied it to the following day or
Yep.
the following trading session. So seeing that those little like steps we were consistently taking led to like things clicking was really like an aha moment, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So what changed in your trading since then?
So what's changed in my trading is let's start with risk. Risk has been because 2 weeks ago I had tried to change my risk plan, if
Yeah.
you remember.
Yeah, yeah, I remember the four contracts. Yeah.
Yes. And then one bad day was all it took for me to like realize in my brain like that's not what I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was on like a little bit of like just kind of bad streak of
Yeah.
just thoughts, I would
Yeah.
say. Um, and I was like, you know what? This is how I'm gonna manage my risk. So now we have our set protocol. You know, it's 3 contracts. We're looking for 50 points, 75 points, and 100 points. TP1, TP2, TP3. One contract comes off at each TP. I
Yeah.
saw lots of, first of all, personal like success with how I was able to handle it,
Mm-hmm.
and also giving me myself the opportunity of like, okay, if I take an L, I will still allow myself to get in because of my overall daily um
Risk.
risk. So for risk, I think that we have truly found what works best for myself.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the system itself, the system has just been getting so much cleaner. Like you've introduced dealing range to me. Um, and that has helped with the understanding of why I'm getting into the market, what I'm looking for, right? With
Yeah.
the addition of understanding continuation and retracement, why would price be doing what it's doing at a certain point? So if
Right.
it passes dealing range, then okay, I know we're in, let's say it takes dealing range low. I know we're looking for sales to continue. If I
Mm-hmm.
see a buy, it would be for a retracement. Now it's much cleaner when I'm looking at the charts and I'm looking for my entries of order blocks or breakers. Like these points are areas that pertain to what in the market, what could the market do at these areas?
Right, right, right.
And it's only those two things, you know? So that's been an addition, a big addition, because it's cleared up the the view of the charts.
Right, right. And the order blocks, right? Now you're not just trading any on or order block. You know, hey, this order block is gonna give me a retracement trade. This order block is gonna give me a continuation trade to the downside, right?
Yep.
So how did that change how you felt now when you're placing trades to back then when you were placing trades?
I mean, I definitely feel much more confident. Like, I feel more confident in the sense of I know all of my criteria has been met. So, and I know that I was okay risking what I had set out to risk. So being okay with the criteria, being good with the risk, now it's just a matter of just pulling the trigger. And pulling the trigger, it is what it is. Once I set my stops and my TPs, trade is out of my hands. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and that's all it is. Like my idea is my idea, and price is gonna do what it's gonna do. So it's
Yep.
helped settle in, like I had all of these processes, all these protocols in place, followed every single one of them, and now really and truly the trade is gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah, the outcome is out of our hands, right? At that point, we've done our part, right? So did you feel like you were more in control, or did trading start to feel more simpler for you then, having these processes and procedures in place?
It's gotten a little boring.
And that's how it should be, right?
It really has gotten a little more, and it's only been, like I said, 2 weeks. Like last week, I say last week was such a good week because the setups were super super clean. So it was super super boring,
Yeah.
right? This week, Price has just been doing a lot of different things. So because Price has been like just ranging, it's been boring because we're not getting into trades.
Right, right,
But it feels good not getting into trades because I know if I would have gotten into trades, I would just be making silly mistakes.
right,
Like
right, right,
getting in
right.
on silly decisions when things are not clear.
Right. And it's about learning to adapt to the different market conditions, right? So if we're in a ranging market, how are you going to trade compared to how if the market is just, in a good range, good price action, really and truly. So I feel like this week has been a powerful one in terms of us growing and learning in terms of what we're looking for. Like these are not the type of market conditions that we want to obviously push risk in, right? So we'll dial back on risk. We'll still take trades, but we'll dial back our risk and yeah, really capital preservation is our number one goal here. Okay, so this might sound like a simple question, but it's actually a big one. Do you feel like you're still trading the same way you were before?
No.
Or do you feel like you're operating more like a professional now?
I feel like I'm operating more of a professional now. Like I definitely can say in January, I still wasn't taking trading serious either.
Yeah,
Like over the last 5 years, the cycle has been I'll focus on it for a month, and when things go wrong, I step away from it, don't look at it
yeah,
for like a month or two, and then I get try to get back into it and try to get back in where I left off, and
yeah,
that doesn't never helped. And I feel like come January 2026, I made it a point to myself that I needed to really take it serious. When I had met you, it was a point where like I was like I just really want to focus on trading like this, that, and third. Find out you also do it. It was like, okay, like now maybe I have somebody to talk
right, right.
about this with. Um, and ever since then, like I can't sit here and say like we've taken a week off since. Like this is
Yeah,
the
no,
most
yeah,
consistent in trading that I've ever been. And I
yeah,
feel like I'm definitely a different person than I was in January to who I am now,
yeah,
180 type shit. I'll say
yeah. What,
160.
what a difference 2 months can make, right?
So like I can just imagine what, like a year will make.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, we're not going
what
to be the same people in a year for sure. So this is actually out of the topic of discussion here. How would you say the importance of having a community, not just any community, right? A community with the right proper mindset, right? Because you can join any community and they're like flashing cars and trying to show you the luxury lifestyle. But like, what is the importance of having like the right community in trading around you?
the right community is very important because you are what. you surround
Who you
yourself with.
surround yourself with. Yep, 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 yep.
So like one of the things is like a lot of I've been in different communities and different trading groups and like they try to sell you on they know how to trade, but I know how to trade, but buy my course. I know how to
Right,
trade, but you need to buy this book and you need to buy this trading Bible or you need to hop onto this seminar. And they're not really teaching you stuff that isn't already out there for free, you
right,
know?
right.
So in that regard, I mean, community is really important. Having people that is like-minded as you, has the same similar goals as you, takes you further because you kind of just start to expand on what you're thinking about.
Right, 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 for sure. And that's what I'm trying to like cultivate here. Like I'm trying to build a community of traders that are like on the right same mindset, same path, right? We're all trying to use trading as a tool, right, for a bigger life, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us, right? It's not just about us anymore. Once we master this, it's not just about us, right? It's about the
Yeah.
people that come after us and all of that. But anyway, let's get back into this then. So you spent 5 years trying to figure this out. What do you understand now that you wish you knew back then?
The market's always going to be there.
Oh, that's facts. That is facts.
The market's always going to be there, and there's no need to chase it. Like, it's not chasing me, I ain't chasing it. Like,
Yep, yep.
it needs
Remember when
to
you were
just
flirting with Nas?
exactly. So,
We
no
don't
matter
flirt with
what,
Nas no more.
I think that's the biggest thing is like the market is always going to be there. Like, and it ties into discipline and risk, right? Like,
Yeah.
just because today is not a day, like this whole week has been a shitty week to trade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Sitting on our hands isn't a bad thing because we're not losing, but we're gaining the knowledge every single day. So we always come out with something.
Definitely, 100%. So there's someone that will be watching this right now, right? Who is exactly where you were. They've been trading for years, they're frustrated, and they're trying to figure it out. What would you tell them?
Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
No, no, but the most important thing I would say is figure yourself out first. Like figure out what you're trying to do with this. Have your why. Like if your why isn't strong enough, then really and truly nothing else matters.
Yep.
Um, and as you're doing this, like don't let this just be the only thing you're doing. Like
Hmm.
you need to
Have a life outside of trading. Yeah.
have a life outside of trading, but in the sense of like, don't go quitting your job and try to become a full-time day trader on day one or day two. Not even
That
on
that
month one. Not even in
that is
month
the
one.
worst thing you can do. Be a broke full-time day trader. Yeah, that is just the worst thing you can do.
Exactly.
100%.
So I would say, like it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. That's as, cliche as it sounds, it's the reality of life. Like just keep battling it every single day. Um, don't fold on yourself
Yep.
because the markets
Yep.
don't give a fuck about you. Nobody gives a fuck. It's you and yourself, and the only person that's gonna be disappointed is you at the end of the day
Yep.
if
Yep.
you fold.
The aim here is to be 1% better each and every day, right? We're not trying to make $1 billion in one day, right? We're trying to take small steps, all right, into to the bigger target, the bigger goal, right? So yeah, for sure. Well said. So if someone is serious about getting better and actually wants to stop guessing and start trading with structure, what would you say about learning a real process?
Lock in. Lock into learning and being open, like being a student consistently is the most important thing. Um, there's nothing wrong with learning more
Yeah,
and expanding your knowledge, like, and then finding what works for you.
right, right. That
Finding what
that's that's one thing that I really like took out of you and the person that you are, that your willingness to be open to learn and just you don't know everything, so you're like eager to soak in the information, because we could have been trading together and you could have just kept doing what you were doing and I would have kept doing what I was doing, but you were like open to see, okay, so what's this girl doing that's different that I could take, that will help me in my trading. So that's where I really like, because I'm really like a vibe person and like how a person is. I'm not gonna volunteer information if I don't feel like you're willing or open to take the information, right? Because not everybody. I'm gonna admit I haven't made it in training, right? I'm still on my journey. I'm still on my process, right? Somebody can look at me and be like, I ain't gonna take nothing from you because you're not really, you're not where, you know what I'm
Where I
saying?
want to be or where I would expect you to be.
Right, right, exactly. So
And
that's one thing that really like drew me to you, and I really like that about you, that you were open and willing to learn, even from somebody that's technically on the same level playing field as you are, right? That we're all going on the same journey, right? But yeah, that's very important, being a student of the market and just being a student of life in general. So that's really much why I was like, you know what, I'm what I know might not be much right now, but I'm gonna pour it into you because you're showing me the signs that you wanna do this, and you're willing to, and open to learn. So yeah, kudos to you, man. Kudos to
it's
you.
been, listen, I love it. Like at the end of the day, you get further in life being a student every day. Like acting like you know everything and there's always a bigger fish out there. There's always a bigger
Yep.
cat. Like there's always somebody that's gonna know more than you, and you can sit here and either choose to think that you're greater knowing you're not, or choose to pick their brain and then actually become better.
Right, exactly, exactly. I love that. So I think this is powerful about your story. Is that you didn't what's really powerful about your story is that you didn't need another strategy, right? You just needed some sort of structure, you needed a plan, you needed a process, and once you had that, everything has started to change. That's the difference. I love you, right? That's the difference between someone who's just trading and someone who's actually learning how to manage capital like a professional, right? So one last question to end this, and I feel like this has already been powerful. So would you sacrifice 4 to 6 years of your life, right, to build your dream life, to essentially gain freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom?
I mean, them 6 years are gonna pass, so yeah.
Yeah. Hell
The 6 years are
yeah.
gonna go by regardless. So either I like to think of it like this, right? Today could be day one, or in 5 years it could be day one. One day is gonna be day one. So why
Yeah.
not try to pick
Yeah,
it as soon as possible? You
for
know?
sure. Yeah,
Like I
for
could
sure.
I could remember day one of trading when I got introduced to it. I was on Instagram, I saw somebody posting their MT4 chart, how
Screenshot?
they were
Yeah,
making
yeah. Yeah.
money or whatever. I was like, what is this? Like DM them, they're talking about, oh, if you want to make quick money, Wi-Fi money, like DM me, the whole
Wi-Fi
nine.
money.
I remember that. I remember that 100%. And that was day one. And then I was like, what am I looking at? Candles, wicks. I sound like
Yeah.
Savannah right now. The thing with the candles and the wicks, you know,
That trading thing.
that's so yeah, it's always gonna be day one sometime. It's just when do you want it to be day one?
Right. So the reason I asked this because not a lot of people are willing to put in the time, the energy, the effort it takes to get to the point where this thing can just really give you freedom, essentially, not just financial freedom, but time freedom and location freedom, right? So a lot of people, they're more like set on, hey, I can go to 4 years of college and maybe get a job in my field or not, but they don't see trading as I can spend 4 years learning how to build trading and not have to get a job and just really pretty much be the master of your own life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would definitely sacrifice 4 to 6 years. I wish instead of college, I was learning how to trade, but it is what it is, and everything happens for a reason. Everybody has their time and their season, and yeah, I'm happy that I found trading when I did. But anyway, thank you, Di, for this. I really appreciate it. I think a lot of traders are gonna get a lot of value out of this, and yeah, it's the beginning of our little podcast, right?
Yeah, that's it. Real soon we won't be on Zoom. It'll be a
Yeah,
little bit
no, no, for real.
more of a living room setting type of thing, guys.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and you got a lot of value from it. If you didn't, nothing much we can do about that. But if you did, great. Hopefully you join us on the next one. All right. We don't know when the next one will be, but more of this to come. All right. Thank you guys. As
Thank you.
always.
2
I'm the
months.
trader signing out here. Good luck, good trading. Happy hunting.
Toodles.
Yeah, buddy.